Hello everyone, welcome to week 13 and last lecture of business analytics subject. Today I want to talk about ethics in business analytics. Let's start with the definition of ethics. Ethics is moral rules, codes and principles which provide guidelines for right and truthful behavior in specific situations. Ethics has a long history in business. And all business people know they need to be very mindful about ethics. But when we talk about business analytics, the consideration for ethical issues is even more significant because business analytics itself is very complex. And we have machines, we have algorithms that are making decisions for us or they help us to make decisions. So ethics and ethical issues are more complicated in business analytics, and we need to be very careful about it. David, oh, you are sitting there. David, I remember it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, you talked about your experience watching YouTube with your girlfriend. I think it said you were watching a documentary, and all of a sudden YouTube kept sending you advertisement, not once, a couple of times, during the documentary about engagement ring. And you said the reason that YouTube was doing that was that a couple of days ago you searched for engagement ring, and based on what you said in the class, you were planning to propose to your girlfriend, which is good, but you said you were unhappy with the advertisement because somehow it spoiled your surprise, and at the same time, your girlfriend knows about technology too. And when YouTube is sending a couple of advertisements about engagement ring, she can feel that you have done some search in the internet for engagement ring. So it does set some expectation for your girlfriend too. And you didn't like it, fair enough, I wouldn't have liked it too. We call it ethical issue because YouTube did something that you really didn't like it, and we can find many other examples too because all those applications that you use, you install on your phone, on your computer, are collecting data about you, about your browsing history, and about different things which can relate to you and can relate to your privacy. There's a famous story about Target Retailer. They are fantastic in predictive analytics. They have a strong algorithm. And I talked about predictive modeling, predictive analytics in retail, how important is to have strong predictive modeling and send recommendation to our customers because we want to have a bigger share of the market. We want to approach those potential customers, those who may buy from us. And Target did that, fair enough. Business should keep working, business should be profitable, and a genius guy in Target came up with an algorithm which said, okay, if a female buys 25 items, it is very likely that she's pregnant. So if we discover who is likely to be pregnant, we can send advertisement about those pregnancy stuff. For example, baby clothing, furniture, and we can send emails with smiley infant, and we can encourage her to buy more from us. And they did that. It worked. But all of a sudden, they sent advertisement to a teenage girl because of her purchase behavior. One day, in the home, his father looked at advertisement and said, why Target is sending advertisement about pregnancy stuff, about baby clothing to my teen daughter who is still in high school? He got very angry. He went to closest Target store and said, I want to talk to manager. Manager came and said, what's the issue? He said, why you are doing that? Are you going to motivate my teen daughter who is still in high school to get pregnant? Store manager was shocked. He said, I apologize and I investigate the issue and I get back to you. After a couple of days, store manager called that guy and tried to apologize again. But before he apologized, the father of teen girl said, sorry, I owe you an apology. Apparently there are some activities in my house that I'm not aware of. And my daughter is due in August. That's the power of predictive analytics. I have talked about different phases or different steps of analytics. In week 12, I talked about this life cycle, which starts from formulating the problem, what analytics wants to do, then it's about data collection, then it's about data preparation, data transformation, then model building and evaluation, then model deployment, and finally, to monitor the progress. The thing is, ethics is involved in each and every step of business analytics. There is no exception, and you should be aware of that. Start from data collection. If it's an application, what that application is allowed to collect about us. If it's a survey, what type of question you can ask the respondent. Then it's about aggregation or transformation. Imagine that I do some analytics and we have only one female lecturer or academic in UQ Business School. And I generate a report and I say, the average salary of female academic in UQ Business School is 110K. And I think it's safe because it's average. I'm not revealing any information, but actually I am, because many of the staff in UQ Business School know there is only one female academic here. So that's somehow revealing the private information about that lecturer or academic. So aggregation is tricky, and model building too. When we develop a model, we should know who is going to use this model, and this model is going to contribute to which type of decision. Is it a strategic decision or is it operational decision? I talked about it in week 7. I talked about differences in operational and strategic decision making and how business analytics can contribute to each type of decision. So you should be very well aware of type of decision that predictive analytics is making or is helping to be made. So all in all, ethics is involved in each step of predictive analytics, and then it goes to model deployment, monitoring results, and formulating the problem. What I want to do today, I want you to shape groups of 3 or 4. You guys can be in group of 5. So, and I provide you a case about TJX company in US. In 2008, they had data breach of 94 million customers. And the executive committee had to sit together immediately and decide what they need to do and what they need to do which is ethical. They made a decision, and I want to sit together, look at the case, discuss it, and you tell me what you think should have been done. I compare what you think is ethical and what executive committee in TJX thought is ethical, and then I want to compare your thinking and TJX thinking with 3 normative theory about ethical issues, namely stakeholder theory, and social contract theory. That's it. And now I want to talk about the philosophy of my teaching and how I apply this philosophy to this 10-minute mini lecture. My teaching philosophy is that if a student can engage with the content, they will be successful. A student will learn better if they have active involvement. We lose the attention and interest of many students because they cannot relate to the content through their everyday life. So I tried to apply this philosophy by talking about the experience of a student first. I pointed out at what David mentioned 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was his life experience. It had 2 advantages. First, I showed that I listened to experience of students. I value their contribution. It's not just saying to a student, okay, anyone has any question? No. I ask them to contribute, to talk about their experience, and I take that experience as an example. It makes sense for everyone. Then, it's about a current social event. It's about a tangible technology. I didn't talk about complex things in Apple or Google or Microsoft, which is good sometimes to talk about them, but first I wanted to start simple and engage a student in the conversation. Then I talked about a bit more high-level example, and I related that example to what a student learned during the last 12 weeks. And I talked about the consequences of this case and how it's related to predictive modeling and ethics. Then, when a student had a clear understanding of ethics and its importance in predictive analytics, I said, I'm going to give you a mini case, TJX company. I didn't ask them to go home and think about it. I didn't ask them question to answer straight away. I said, I give you 10 minutes because I want you to sit in group of 3 or 4 and discuss it together. I talked about, and I mentioned a group of 5 because there are sometimes groups in the class that they prefer to stay together. And I think if they feel comfortable to talk to each other, we should encourage them. We need to encourage a student to discuss, to get involved, to engage. If they want to sit in a group of 5, that's fine. For me, it's important that they engage, they get involved, they discuss. And then I said, okay, when you discuss this case, now I want to show you what TJX company did in the US. I compare your work with their work, what you think, and what they thought. And the next step was to compare the decision of a student with with TJX company and compare it with a theoretical framework or with 3 different theories. This way, a student gets a feedback and they know how their thinking is different first with other groups, with TJX company, and how this differ or is similar to those theories. And also, in the start of my lecture, I tried to emphasize on the importance of this topic. The fact that this topic is discussed in week 30 is not because it's less important. I do that for most of my lectures because I want to take attention and interest of students. I want to show them and I want to tell them whatever they are learning is useful, to give them that positive energy in the start and engage them in the conversation. Then when they are engaged, when they have interest, they will have a better learning outcome. This is my philosophy of teaching and how I apply it. Thank you so much for watching.